Okay, today we're going to figure out how to find the slope, which is also called the rate of change. And this is the formula to find the slope. The second y minus the first y divided by the second x minus the first x. Okay, so we're going to use this formula to help us solve these types of problems. Calculate the slope between the points. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to label these. The first number is the x, and the second number is the y. The first number is now going to be the second x, and the second one's going to be the second y. You need to label them. And then all I want you to do is follow the formula. The formula on the top says to take y2 minus y1 and over divided by x2, and I'll write it down one more time so you can see it. The formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Lots of formulas in math, and all you do is follow them. So y2 is 9, y1 is 3, x2 is 0, and x1 is a negative of a negative 2. Do you see that? The formula has a negative sign, so two negatives equal a positive. 9 take away 3 is 6, divided by 2, 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's the first part of the assignment. Let's do another one. This one is x1, so this one's x2. This is y1, this is y2. Formula is the second y minus the first y, second x minus the first x. 12 take away 2 is 10, 8 take away 3 is 5, 10 divided by 5 is 2. So that's the first part of the assignment. The second part of the assignment is almost exactly the same as the first part. Instead of given 2 points, they give you a line. So what you need to do is use the points where it crisscrosses. So I'm going to use this one right here, which is counts by 4. So this is 0, 20. And I am also going to use this one right here. You have to use it where they actually cross over on a cross. So this one is going to be, if it counts by 4s, this one's going to be 28. We're counting by 4, so that's 8, 16, 24, 28, 32, 36. It's going to be 28, 36. So the first thing I did was I found 2 points that crisscrossed over the corners. And now I'm just going to do x1, y1, x2, y2. y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. 36 take away 20 is 16. 28 take away 0 is 28. Use your calculator to simplify it. You have an ABX button, or just take 16 divided by 28 and might write it as a decimal or a fraction, but it's going to end up being 4/7 in reduced form. 16 divided by 4 is 4, and 16 divided by 4 is 7, and that's why you can reduce it to 4/7. Always reduce fractions. You know that 2/4 can be reduced to 1/2, so reduce it. Okay, the last part of the assignment. This is a very famous form in algebra. Y is equal to mx plus b. We're going to be using this for the rest of this chapter, so you have to know what y is equal to mx plus b means. You need to get y alone. That's the first thing you have to do. After you get y alone, the number in front of the x is called the m, and the m is another name for slope. So, in this problem right here, if they ask you what the slope is, don't say 6, because you have to get y alone first. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 6x to both sides. Everybody see what I did? I subtracted a negative 6x to both sides because I need to get y alone. So I need to divide everything by a negative 2. Y is equal to a negative 12 divided by a negative 2 is a positive 6. This is also a negative. Plus a negative and a negative makes it a plus. 6 divided by 2 is 3x. Okay, the form is y equals mx plus b. So the b is the number alone, that's the 6. The m is the number in front of the x. So the slope in example number 2 is 3. It's the number in front of x. So that's what you're trying to find in the third part. Let's do one more. They're going to give you an equation and you have to find the slope. You have to get y alone first. So I'm going to subtract 2x to both sides. 4y is equal to 8 minus 2x. I'm going to divide everything by 4. Y is equal to 8 divided by 4 is 2 minus 2/4. I just said what 2/4 was. 2/4 is the same thing as a half of an x. The slope is the number in front of the x. So the slope is equal to a negative 1/2. Okay, the last page is just to summarize. If you're given 2 points, that's the first part. We just use the formula to find the m, or the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. If you're given a graph, you need to pick 2 points. And then once you pick your 2 points, you can use the same formula that you did in number 1. And then the last thing that you learned today is if you're given an equation, you have to get y alone. And once you get y alone, the number in front of the x is called the slope. So that's just to summarize and what we learned today.